The column, led by Captain Ampudia, was making for Don Laureano's hacienda. If Joaquin hadn't spied them mules and knowed 'em, the cavalry might have gone somewheres else entirely. First to spot Ramos was Barrios, galloping from the back of the platoon like a young'un finding his lost paw. "Subtenient, by thunder, you alive? Truly alive?" Ramos, eyes blurry and face scorched red as a brick, mumbled, "We won't be for long if you don't fetch us a drop of water, Sergeant." A sharp bark from the captain, and two soldiers peeled off, toting cool water in leather canteens. The women sipped slow, washing their hands and weary faces. Ramos, though, guzzled like a parched mule, reckoning even the Rio Bravo couldn't slake his thirst. Back a ways, Joaquin, feeling things slipping out of hand, tried to sneak off. He tugged his mule's reins, hopped down, and made like he was checking its hooves. Maybe, just maybe, he'd slip by unnoticed. Meanwhile, Barrios was dancing and carrying on like a fool, clean forgetting the last few days. With a grin wide as the desert, he bragged on Ramos to Captain Ampudia, spouting off about the lieutenant's grit and honor. The captain listened, but cool like, one eyebrow cocked. Barrios always struck him as more clown than soldier. Still, Ampudia slid off his horse, shook the dust from his cloak, and with a polite nod asked the women to sit on a campaign blanket. He called a halt right there, set sentries at the four corners, and told the cook to fix a proper meal. From four lances jabbed in the sand and a blanket stretched betwixt 'em, the soldiers rigged a shade. There, under that scrap of mercy, he bid the three wanderers tell their tale. The captain's play worked. The women felt safe. Ramos caught his breath and started talking, with fire, with flourishes, but leaving out plenty. He told what he recalled, skipping the parts about the Indians. Ampudia listened, but didn't seem much impressed. In the end, he ordered a fresh uniform for Ramos. The sight an officer in rags was a blight on the Mexican army. Alone with the women, Ampudia got real attentive. He wanted particulars about the shaman, how the Indians lived, the unarmed one who faced the army talking peace. He asked sharp questions, like a man measuring for a coffin. Then he called Barrios, and the talk got lively. When he heard the shaman was the one who'd face Joaquin's army empty-handed, his eyes narrowed. Then he recollected. "Joaquin. Where's Joaquin?" In a voice dry as the desert, he told a soldier, "Fetch him here, now. We got things to settle." Joaquin El Cuervo, called out by the captain, sauntered up slow, back straight like nothing touched him. He doffed his sombrero with a grand flourish, but his eyes showed he was rattled. He bowed. Señoras, mighty pleased to see y'all again. Was just wondering when we'd sit round the same fire." Ampudia didn't offer his hand, he just stared and flicked a finger for Joaquin to sit. Joaquin plopped down across from the women. Annalise, still clutching that old lantern, looked away. Elizabeth, cold as ice, fixed him with a stare full of quiet hate. "Didn't reckon I'd see you again, caballero," she said in German. Then clear as a bell in Spanish, "Nor that I'd have to breathe the same air as the man who led us off our path to our doom." Joaquin sighed. "Aye, Senora, I didn't force you. I just pointed a way. Of course the road to hell's paved with good intentions." "Enough!" Ampudia cut in, calm but with a weight that hushed even the dust. "Mr. Joaquin, we want the truth. No fancy talk, no poetry." Joaquin stiffened, wiping his hands with a kerchief. "The Indians ain't one. They's tribes, each proud as Lucifer, but they're starting to band together. The danger's real, not just talk. I warned you, nobody listens till blood's spilt. And yet," Barrios piped up, voice shaken, "an unarmed Indian had the gall to face an army." Joaquin clammed up. He'd bought Barrios' silence, and now he felt stabbed in the back. "Turns out that Galeana massacre wasn't quite a massacre, seeing as there's survivors. You run, Joaquin?" the captain asked. "I chose life, Senor Capitan. If I'd stayed, we'd all be dead. That Indian's a devil. How else did he walk out of that fight?" Ampudia stood, looking from the women to Ramos, then Barrios, then Joaquin. "Let's tally it up," he said. slow as a judge passing sentence. The mescalero shaman tried to parley. Joaquin skedaddled. The Indians ain't one people, but they're knitting together. Their village is hid. We don't know where, but we know who they took in. These women and Ramos. Exactly, Joaquin jumped in, thinking he might claw back some ground. They know, or at least they saw the way. And Pudia turned to Ramos. What do you recall about where the Indians held you? The lay of the land, the plants, the rocks, the weather. What'd you see? Ramos blinked, trying to dredge it up. A canyon, cold water, white cacti, and a vulture, every sunrise, perched on the same rock, like a sentinel. A vulture? Brios asked. Yep, always on that rock, like it was watching. And Pudia pulled out a map, a scrap of parchment from his pocket, and scratched some lines. He figured distances, eyed the sun, measured shadows, muttering to himself. Then he turned. I reckon I know where that cave is, or near enough.
Ain't far from old Canyondale, Shelley. Round the hidden river, he fixed Joaquin with a stare. You got one shot to make this right. You'll lead us, but if you lie again, I'll bury you neck deep in the sand and let the desert have you. Clear? Acepto, Joaquin said, bowing. And Pudia grabbed his hat. We rest, eat, and tonight I aim for us to reach Don Laureano's hacienda. Then he sent for the old vaquero to guide him to the farm. He turned his back on them all, and for the first time a spark of something like admiration glinted in his eyes. Not for Joaquin, not for Ramos, but for the shaman who'd faced death with nothing but empty hands.
To the Mescalero land in 41's hot sun, a wanted man from Hannibal with nowhere left to run. Old Gom stood like a mountain, eyes wise as the desert sky. Cigarito watched me careful while Marcus gave a weary eye. They gathered round the campfire, their shadows dancing tall. Stranger, what's your purpose? Old Gom has made the call. I said I'm done with shooting, I'm searching for my way. I need the desert's wisdom to wash my sins away. Oh, I'm Nishi, hear the desert calling me. A gunslinger turned to wanderer, seeking who I'm meant to be. From the Mescalero fire